Coming up, help me figure out what's going on. You started dating Natalie.
You want to get the whole story?
I need to know the full story because I've heard Kayla's side.
All right, how much time do we have?
We could dedicate the whole podcast to this. Please.
Okay.
You cost everyone music. And I know how it is in those rooms.
I know.
You need something
music, dude.
to keep you not going insane. So tell me what happened.
To be honest, I think the only two that are working out is Jimmy and Allison, which is awesome to hear, which are the two that I voted for.
They're the best. I have a horror story with Allison, actually.
No.
Meet Harry Jowsey, reality TV heartthrob. He's been loved, ghosted, cancelled, and kissed. He spilled his guts.
I did what?
In a world of ghosting and dodging red flags, Harry's filling his boyfriend's toolbox one lesson at a time. It's Harry Jowsey, boyfriend material.
What is going on, you naughty little pumpkins? This week I'm joined by someone you may know as a self-proclaimed millionaire from Age of Attraction, as your mental health instructor, motivational speaker, or as my perfect match, Chris Dahlan. Did I say it wrong? Dahlan?
No, it's good. Yeah,
is that right?
Thank
Wait,
you.
where are you from? Where's that last name from?
Well, I'm Arabic. I'm Lebanese background. Yeah, so Dahlen, we say Dahlan, you pronounce the H. Yeah, it's, my friends are like,
Right, there's a lot of Lebanese people in Australia.
Yeah, it's true.
Everywhere.
My mom's sister in Melbourne, all my cousins in Melbourne too.
Really?
My older brothers, basically.
Wait, where are you from originally? Miami?
Miami.
Right?
Yeah, Miami.
And you're living out here now?
Living still in Miami. Still have a lot in Miami, but we'll be here at least the rest of the month, So.
Bro, what's going on? How you got so much money?
Right into it.
Like, let's figure that the fuck out.
All right.
Because here's the thing, all right? Because
all right.
what was the job description on Age of Attraction was motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and business owner.
And you're like, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. And then also
right.
he's already bringing gifts. He's already, we got to figure it. You talk. Let me hear.
Okay, so going into these shows, I wanted to lead with my platform, being a mental health instructor. It's something I'm super proud about. There's no question. But I've never turned that into a business. I've never made money like that. To be honest with you, I only know how to make money trading stocks. I started super early. I started super early. I started when I was like 14. I was honestly by 18, 19, I was like, all I did. There was days, 18 hours a day in front of a screen and did really well as a teenager. But people don't know that like the self-proclaimed millionaire came when I was a teenager. Right. And then by 19, I was trusted the wrong person, went through one of the most difficult years of my life, outside finances, and then pretty much not just lost everything. I mean, I was in debt like hundreds of thousands of dollars basically overnight. It was insane.
Why were you? Is it a cocky play? Like what happened?
I trusted. I was working with someone who I considered a brother, honestly, and never ever thought of anything. When I talk about trust, everything in between. There was no lines, and literally one day to the next disappeared. Never saw him again. It was the craziest thing in the world. So it was hard on my family. My dad saw him like a son. My brother, same thing, It was rebuild, dude, from 19 to like 24. So like maybe 2023, I was rebuilding. I became a personal trainer. It's kind of the only thing I knew how to do besides stocks, working out. Build my way up, worked with like UFC gym and a couple gyms. And once I had enough to start trading again, I just went full force. And to be honest with you, it was insane. It was 1 week where basically made it all back in 5 days.
Wow.
And it was the craziest thing in the world. And that put me in a position to kind of do it all over again and look at it differently. I mean, it was $1 million lesson. It was the most expensive lesson I ever learned, but I know now that like, wow, like in a way, what a blessing in disguise. My life would have been so different working with people like that, with someone that never really had my best interest in mind, and I guess that now looking back, I was also able to impact because I wouldn't have never started the charity. I would have never started speaking. I would have never done any of that stuff. So we're not even fully back to where we could have been, but you know what? And I feel really blessed.
It's the best lesson, right?
Yeah.
Like to take that big hit and then reroute. Because now you're on TV. Now you're doing great things.
Yeah.
Like life. Would you ever sell? Like I know it's probably a tough subject, but would you ever sell your stocks or your trades?
Yeah, I don't want to get, bro, course selling the last thing I want to get into.
I don't know. I was like, that's where my brain goes.
But I need to figure out a way to tie the like educational side with like showing. The only way to show people how to do stocks would be like if it's me, like if you're literally talking to me or someone like, and that's hard to do with time. I'm gonna try. I'm trying right now. The last couple of weeks, I've been really focused on that.
Yeah, because I just installed Claude on my Robinhood, and I was like, let it go crazy.
That's the thing. You could literally just say, how do I trade options? The difference between you can learn how to trade options on Claude, but then you can't replicate the experience.
Bro, I got fried on options.
I know.
I got
bro.
fried.
I
Like
know.
there
It
was
happens, bro.
days I'd come in and I'd flex on these guys, and I'm like, look how much money I made.
And the next
And
day,
then every other day,
the next 30
getting
minutes,
killed,
it's like,
bro.
wait a second.
Yeah, bro, it's the worst.
I know.
It's so bad.
But the key is not gambling options, right? Like, how do you trade options without gambling? There is a way. It's just,
bro,
getting too complicated.
The problem is as well, I would sit there and be like, oh, okay, I made $500.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah,
And then I'm like,
true,
okay, let's be
true.
realistic.
Yeah.
$500 in an hour is pretty good
It's
hour.
pretty damn good.
Like, that's
Yeah,
great.
I know.
But I'd be like, oh, it's not really moving anything. I would
I
get
know.
so pissed.
Then the other side of it, though, right? Because, like, you want to take profit, but what if you take profit too? You can't cut your profit too early because you need to take the profit where it needs
So
to be
annoying.
taken. I know. That's the hardest thing. That's experience, I think, more than anything, right? But that's why I say selling a course is bullshit because what's going to happen later?
What's you sell a course next
Yeah,
week?
yeah.
motherfucker?
So,
Yeah.
post Terry Jowsey.
Hey, guys, you saw me a perfect
Harry
match.
endorsed the course.
How about your perfect stock? Let's go. Okay, let's talk about perfect match.
stock. Are you kidding me? That is hilarious.
All right, come on. We got to talk about perfect match.
Let's do it.
I did catch up on it. I actually did talk to Kayla.
Okay, good.
She
Hell
hates
yeah.
you so much. No, she
No,
doesn't. No,
nah.
she doesn't. She honestly, like, I feel really bad for her right now because I was watching the finale and all the girls kind of coming at her.
Yeah.
The Spotify thing, and then them also coming at her after this.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Why were the girls so anti-Kayla?
On the show, you'd
On
say,
the-
or
well,
just like
yeah.
in general?
In general, because I know she posted that video recently too, kind of speaking on it.
There's no question that there was a sort of like an alliance on the girls before she got in the house. And I kind of found that out after, so I think that's fine to talk about. I didn't know that at the time, but I
Yeah.
found out kind of, just through some gossip that the girls in the house, the starters, had an idea that like if any other girl came in, like it was kind of going to be, we have each other's back and not her.
That's what they did on our shit
Yeah,
too.
and I also think that like it being Kayla didn't help. I mean, the fact that she comes in,
She's hot.
she's hot, she has a huge platform,
Yeah.
she's coming in. There's no question there was a sort of jealousy there. There's no question. And like for the kickoff to happen, for the reason to be that she was the least genuine is insane. Like she came off a show
Yeah.
and dated the guy for 3 years. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
a little bit odd to say it like that, but I don't know. After the show, do people want views, or is it also the combination of wanting to get your name out there? Because it's one thing to like say your piece, it's another thing to like go at somebody. I do think that like people were going at Kayla in a way that was unfair, but at the same time, it's like it's so hard, man.
Bro, it's tough. It's also, it doesn't make sense because when I was talking to her about it, she was saying it's kind of the first time she's had hate, and it's obviously, that's hard
Yeah.
to deal with it, but it's also a part of growth, which is also, I guess, the only way I look at it because I deal with so much hate.
Yeah, did you deal with a lot of hate coming off?
Bro,
You
all
did,
the
right?
time. Yeah, bro, I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. Right. Said you have the perfect match. I was like, I didn't kiss that girl.
Really?
Knowing I kissed her, not thinking that they would have had a camera or that we had our
Right.
mics on. I was so drunk.
Right.
So like, I was just like, oh no, this is good for TV. But then it's also you realize that like next week there's more like there's Love Island on right now.
Right.
Like
Right,
it's
right,
hard.
right. Yeah.
Shit's always moving. How did you feel about when Catherine said? Dude, it was so confusing when she's like, "You've got a boyfriend, my brother's cousin's dog, sister,
Yeah, I know.
auntie,
I know.
like plant knows that you've got a man." Like that was confusing too, because I was like, why would any guy be comfortable with their girl going on this? Like, it's not like it's The Bachelor or like you're the person that's going to be a massive like breakout star. It's like,
Right.
it's just like, well, we're just going to do it for fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was a tough moment. I think the hardest part was like not just hearing it there, because in that moment I was thrown off. My mind was everywhere.
Yeah.
I never stopped talking. I was silent during that finale. Silent. I didn't have a word to speak during that finale. I'd never sat there silent for so long.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, I had it like reiterated to me by other people when she wasn't there, and she was there. People were just like, "Yo, like we don't know you that well, Chris, but she does have a boyfriend, right?" And I'm just like, "No, I don't know that, but like, I don't believe she did. I really
they're
don't.
haters.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't believe she did. Like we've spoken about it a lot. Now. I think they were talking about Isaac, is who I think they were talking about, which was her ex before that. I think he was on Too Hot to Handle as well.
Yeah.
And they had a serious relationship, so I'm sure, were they somewhat in communication still or something? Maybe that's what people were trying, but that doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And like that's what I'm assuming they were referring to. That's
also,
what I think they were referring to.
These are a group of hot people. Who isn't talking to someone? Like,
Sure,
you're going to
sure.
say that everyone is perfectly squeaky clean.
Yeah, I mean, come
a
on.
week before.
Why is
this
she getting the hate when we know? I mean, let's look around on around the
Yeah,
show.
like,
What's
going on?
Like, come on. You
Yeah,
know?
like Catherine, I'm sure you were talking to someone. Like everyone else, I'm sure they're talking to
we
someone.
got people
like,
getting married and shit. Like,
yeah, wait, where's... Can you catch me up to speed with everyone now? Like,
Oh,
Davey's
man.
not with his girl.
Dave's not with his girl.
Okay.
To be honest, I think the only two that are working out is Jimmy and Allison, which is awesome to hear, which are the two that I voted for.
They're the
So,
best. I have a horror story with Allison, actually.
no.
Bro, I saw her the other day.
Let's hear.
So-
and you didn't recognize her. You didn't know it was her.
Bro.
Something like that, right? I remember.
Bro, did she say something?
I don't
She's-
know how you came up in conversation. We met.
Oh.
We ran into Chase in Malibu, and then we were walking away, and like Jimmy didn't know who Chase was, and then Damari was like, "Oh, like Chase and Harry are like the two that came off of Netflix and just absolutely killed it."
Yeah.
And then he was like, Jimmy was like, "Oh, which one's Harry?" He's like, "Harry, that big ass Australian dude." You know,
Yeah,
I didn't even
bro.
know you were that tall. By the way, fucking as tall as the door.
Bro.
and then Allison mentioned that she was like, "You know, he didn't even remember me or something
Bro,
like that." I was like,
I've
"Oh,
been thinking about this every day.
that's so funny."
Every single day. I text Kayla about it. That's why me and her started talking about
Mm.
this stuff. Because I was like, because you know when you, because I was watching the show and I was at this Netflix event and I saw her and I'm like, fuck, do I really know her or do
Yeah.
I just know her because I think I know her
'Cause
from
you
watching
saw
the
on
show?
something, yeah.
So the whole time, this whole dinner, I'm confused if I actually know her or if I just think I know her because I watched the show. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick, be like, so good to see you, whatever
know,
else,
I
and then
know.
get it wrong. But I did it the other way. So like her and Kayla, I think when I just moved into my new crib, they all like came over and we were watching UFC. There was a ton of people there. And she was helping like organize my kitchen because that's what, I don't know, they were just being really
Classic.
helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
classic.
lovely. And then I was just sitting there and as I went to leave, I was like, I'm just going to say good to meet you because my brain is like, I've just watched the
Yeah.
show. I think I know her because of the show. And then she goes, we've literally met before. I
Yeah,
was
she's
in
the
your
type
kitchen."
that'll tell you right there.
And-
She's not gonna be like, "Good to meet you." She's like, "Excuse me,
Bro.
you know me."
Bro, talk about mental health. I spiraled. I walked out of that. I
Oh.
got in my car and I was like, holy shit, I'm such an asshole.
man.
Bro, and thank God, hopefully she watches this.
But then the other side of it is when people like tell me you don't have people coming to you like, "Hey, nice to meet you," like as if they know you, but they don't. as
yeah,
well.
but I would
So it's
rather
hard to-
that.
I know.
I would rather that
That's
than
true.
someone be too cool.
Oh man,
Bro, I was like sitting there.
you hurt Allison's feelings, bro.
Bro, I
She's
was
still talking about it. No, I'm kidding.
No, she was,
I'm kidding.
see, that was my
It's fine,
fear.
it's
I was
fine,
gonna
it's fine.
message her. I saw the funny
No.
thing was I saw she was on live before this, and I was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry," but then like, I just don't want her to think that I'd be stressing
Yeah.
about it. But it's like one of those things that she'll forget about, but I'll always remember.
You know what?
So sad about
That's
it.
real. That's
Dude.
cute. That's cute.
Dude, it's okay. So anyway, where's
Yeah.
everyone at? So Jimmy and Allison are still
So
together.
Jimmy and Allison are working things out. They're doing really well. They're in Miami actually. They're at my place in Miami right now. They're killing it, enjoying
You're the
with
richest
Nick,
guy
with,
alive.
with
This is
Nick
crazy.
and Hashim.
This is the richest guy I've ever met.
With Hashim and Nick and Jimmy P. Let's see who else. I know Allie and Jimmy tried to work things out. We have Allie and Jimmy. The other Allie and Jimmy.
I want to talk about her at some point, but
Okay.
continue.
So they tried a little bit, didn't work out so well. At least Dave and Soph took their trip and enjoyed
Yeah.
their trip.
Thank God.
At least that happened, you know? I do think they were good winners if we want to go that way, but I think part of it was also like they were less hated.
Yeah.
I think that the stupid pinky promise thing literally stopped Jimmy and Allison from winning,
Yeah.
which is insane. Yeah. And then what else? What other couple do we have? Obviously Natalie and Yeaman. That was not really a thing there. And then Damari and Marissa. I mean, shit. Let's say
Are
it.
they're not together. They're done.
She's married.
Oh wait, she's married now.
She's married.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I didn't even, bro. I was trying to figure out what's going on with you.
I know.
Wait, she's married?
She's married.
To who?
A guy that she's like been on and off with for like 14 years. She posted about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. But it's just like, it's so funny watching it back. It's like, how did this,
Yeah.
how did this even happen?
Talk about
you know?
seeing someone
I
before
know.
the show.
I know.
14 years.
We're
Wow.
like childhood pictures together. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, girl, like good for her.
Seriously, no. In all seriousness,
Yeah.
congratulations to Marissa. Seriously,
Bro.
I wish her nothing but the best. But that was funny.
That's crazy. That's so bro,
I know.
Damari, best guy.
Dope.
Beautiful
Dope.
stud.
Dope.
Legend.
Honestly, talented, super. I mean, real gentleman.
Nicest
actually.
guy.
Yeah.
So is him and Bree, they didn't get back together?
No.
Bro, that kiss was the hottest
Definitely
thing
not.
I've
I'm
ever
pretty
seen.
sure Bree has a boyfriend right now. I think everybody's kind of like, mingling around. I don't know. We have a few single people left, but
Okay, so help me figure out what's going on. You started dating Natalie.
You want to
Yeah.
get the whole story?
I need to know the full story because I've heard Kayla's side.
All right, how much time do we have?
We could dedicate the whole podcast to this, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So obviously the show finishes, and like you saw how we finished with the diary cam. You kind of missed a lot in between.
Everything
in between. To reemphasize, bro, the relationship me and Kayla had on the show was not only real, but it was strong. It was really strong. And like you get to know each other on these shows, but you're also stripped of everything. You don't have your phones and TVs and clocks, damn near, right? So you're moving really fast, and then you're trying to go back into real life, and it's almost like you have to take a step backwards in a way. So the idea was to meet here in LA. Jimmy was going to come visit Allison. I was thinking to come. And I found out that Kayla was going to F1 in Vegas, and I work with F1, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I kind of figured out a way to work the race myself. She was working with some brands, and I was working at the track, So, look, in the end of the day, timing is everything. I do believe that. Probably wasn't the best timing, but I didn't really think about it at that point. Also, I think that if we had more time together and had better communication, like that week would have been communicated a lot better, So I will say that for sure, But I definitely felt a pretty hard separation there. I felt like I was really putting myself out there, and it wasn't reciprocated, Okay. So, after that trip, I went back to Miami and was kind of like, okay, I stepped off 100%. That's kind of where the communication stopped between me and Kayla. And then just kind of a few weeks went by. The Miami crowd's hanging out. I spent some time with Natalie amongst the group that we were hanging out with. This is like a few times, right? So this is the first time she visited Miami. And then maybe 3 weeks later, I'm trying to think, something like that, she visited Miami again. And that was when in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, me and Natalie were hanging out a lot. We were friendly. She was someone I was super friendly on the show with.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is where things might take a step forward. And that's when I was like, man, I really think that I should have a conversation with Kayla. I really do. I don't think it wasn't that I owed the conversation to her. It's not like we were dating. We hadn't spoken for a little while there, but it was more like, dude, I like to talk about things. I like to communicate. I don't like anything being left out on the table,
Yeah.
And after talking with Natalie a little bit, she agreed. She's like, yeah, you should have a conversation with her. And I'm not even kidding. That was the night she flew to Miami. This is like maybe like 1 a.m. Miami time, right? Like this is like late. She flew in late. That was the night that Kayla found out that we were together and blew the group chat. Literally 2 hours later. In the morning, I was planning to call her. Like we were just talking about it. And 30 minutes later, we see a paragraph come into the group chat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no way this timing happened.
No way.
And the worst part was like the reactions from the group chat. Like people like, oh, like why do we care? Or like, why do we need to know this? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, this is like now I just feel like shit because I feel bad,
Fuck.
And it wasn't even about wronging anybody or anything like that. It's just respect, communication, Yeah. So anyway, I sent a text to Kayla, and like obviously at that point it doesn't matter. I was like, hey, I really was trying to call you tonight. It just didn't happen like that, Again, the communication wasn't there anymore between me and Kayla.
Would you prefer her to text you or the group chat? Like, do you think that was?
I think her texting the group chat is telling where we were at that point. Like we weren't really in communication at that point. I think if we were close enough to where we were talking all the time or we were texting her, she would have just texted me. I think at that point she was just like, I don't even care about that. I just want everyone to know. I think also she didn't necessarily know that Natalie and Yaman had a conversation already. So she was probably like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah, let's just blow it up. Which I get that. But, I think, I know the timing of that was insane. And unfortunately, me and Kayla didn't say a word to each other. Like she didn't even properly respond to my text. It was just group responses.
Oh, you didn't even talk to her?
No. Like didn't even get a response. Like the response to the text was like in a group response. No. Like it wasn't like direct. And that's when, bro. I mean, in the back of my head, I'm an overthinker. You know what I mean? We all are here. There's no way that wasn't in the back of my head. Like, damn. Even Mackenzie, I wanted to have a conversation with her. We had nothing going on, but I was just like, hey, before the show comes out, like, how are you? This is how I am. Yeah. So that took a while, but talking about how me and Natalie then started growing, we didn't rush into it after that. It took about a month for us to like really say, okay, we're dating, right? This is my girlfriend, right? So it took a little time there, and it grew very naturally. It's the first relationship, man, I've had in a long time that was like a real relationship to me, And
when did you start giving the Chanel bags out?
It was Christmas,
brother. Yeah, but how long into seeing it?
What was it? Valentine's. It was like 2 months.
You're a sick guy.
It was in between Chris and Valentine.
You're
Actually,
sick
it was
guy.
right
I can't
between.
talk. I have to do it as bad as you, but you're a sick man, and someone needs to tell you to stop.
Fuck.
I'm terrible at this too, But you need to relax.
I gotta. Okay.
You have to relax.
Okay.
Should have put that in Tesla.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, bro.
Listen,
I'm
if
just
Harry's
as bad
telling you to relax, then bro, you gotta relax.
To be honest, I can't talk because I'm just as bad as you.
Shit, man.
Okay, so you and Natalie progress.
Yeah.
What happens? Where do we? It's Christmas. You get her Chanel bag.
Yeah. So, and she got me a really cool gift too. She got me a nice ass golf bag, which I will continue to use. One of
Wow,
my,
shout out Natalie.
I mean, come on. Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
So, no, but that was about 3 months. We traveled together. We had some really cool moments. I think it's important to say that like her family, her group, her friends, like have so much love for them and her, and wish her nothing but the best, for real. She's such a sweetheart. I think the only person that was really done wrong in this situation was Natalie there, because you know, there was I was dating her and there was a problem. There's a problem. It was disrespectful how it all came together.
Okay,
you know what I mean? And we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh fuck.
All right.
Chris.
All right.
Chris, for fuck's
All
sake.
right. So then we fast forward. We're in March now. So at this point, again, me and Kayla haven't spoken yet. Obviously, we know the show's coming out soon. Lots of emotions, but in the end of the day, I wasn't thinking about Kayla at that point. You know, I really was just focused on the relationship I had. And then I fly to LA for Age of Attraction premiere. That's when like everything was kind of just jumbled up together. Fuck. Age of Attraction drama is going on, you know, perfect match. Not really any drama or anything like that, but we had a small little gathering at a rooftop for the Age of Attraction premiere. It was our cast and our family members, you know, and the day before filming the reunion show, actually. And I turn around and I see Allison, and my heart literally dropped, because I knew, like, in my head, I'm like, there's no fucking way that this is about to happen right now, right here. There's no way. I walk over her, I give her a hug. How you doing? Me and Allison were super close on the show. She looks at me, she's like, Kayla's in the elevator, and I'm like, I literally, like, I'm nervous right now thinking of the moment because of how, like, you know.
And you guys hadn't spoken.
Hadn't spoken at all.
Oh, fuck.
So I was obviously super surprised to see her. She shows up and kind of just, you know, we say hi, and it was almost like, I think from her side, it was like, okay, so he's either gonna ignore me completely, or we're going to have like a proper conversation. There's really no one in between there. I mean, in the end of the day, looking back, doing Natalie right would have been just not having a conversation at all, realistically, because that's what she didn't. She felt, why do you need to talk? You know what I mean?
Sure.
From my side, I'm looking at it like it's very difficult, because how do we go into the show and not have a conversation when it's really emotional, when there are a lot of emotions behind it, you know?
Yeah.
So we're amongst this group. You want all the details here?
Come on,
All
please.
Right. So we're amongst this group. It's my cast members. And within 10, 20 minutes, man, it got really emotional. Like, we stepped over to the side. We didn't, like, want to separate ourselves too much, just, like, out of disrespect, just for optics necessarily. And, dude, like, we're, like, all of a sudden we're crying in front of our cast, like, in front of Age of Attraction.
Can I also ask, is the girl from Age of Attraction that you're with there too?
Right there.
No.
No, not only that. Yeah, no. I'm hosting.
No.
I'm hosting this thing, too.
No.
So on top of that, I'm hosting this thing. Right there. Everyone's standing right there. Family members right there. I'm sitting there. We're tears in our eyes. And my Age of Attraction is grabbing me like, hey, we're taking a group picture. And I'm like, please give me a second. Like, you know, like,
No.
actually like that.
Whoa.
Like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys stepped to the side.
With the vial files the next morning, going all into it together.
Brother, no wonder you want to talk about mental health. There's a lot going on. There's a lot you need to talk about.
It was a big day. It was a big day.
Wow.
So then, again, 10, 20 minutes, and it was fully interrupted. I mean, we're with a group.
Yeah.
Realized it wasn't really the right time, but, like, we had just started, like, tipping the iceberg, like, why there was such a miscommunication.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about our faith. We talked about things that were, like, and again, it was emotional. Boom, we get cut off. We moved as a group to another, it was like a bar. It was, like, right down the street. Big group of us. And at that point, we're in front of people, but also it's loud. We're not speaking at all. You know, we're not, like, we're in the group, but she's in her thing. I'm doing my own thing. And I think both of us in the back of our heads were like, okay, we do need to continue this conversation. Yeah. When are we going to? We go back to the hotel that everyone from Age of Attraction was staying at. Everyone went back together. We're downstairs. We go upstairs to the room.
Brother.
This is the problem. This is the issue. Yeah. So once we go upstairs to the room, we're in conversation. I think there was like maybe 3 people there still at this point. And then, like, slowly people just started to leave. All of a sudden, me and her together. There's no reason that we should be in the room together at that point. You know what I mean? Obviously.
Have you told Natalie at this point that you've seen her?
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
Right when I woke up, before I even went to the Age of Attraction thing, I called her, FaceTimed her, and told her, you know, what was going on before anything.
Okay.
But I do think it's important to state that, like, we spoke for a good 2-3 hours, because, you know, when do clubs close here? Like 2 in the morning. So we probably 2:30 to like 5 in the morning straight having that conversation that we started a few hours before, and she crashed and slept for like 2.5 hours there in my hotel. And honestly, whether people want to believe it or not, truly, it doesn't matter because it's still wrong. It's still disrespectful to Natalie. But it wasn't romantic. We didn't hook up. We didn't kiss at all. You know what I mean? I don't know if she was like seeing someone at the time or something. There was like notion of that, but like neither of us wanted to be disrespectful to whoever we were talking to.
Right.
But just us being together was already disrespectful. I understood that, you know? So although I was relieved to have the conversation with Kayla, I was really relieved to like get all of that off my chest and her do the same. It was, I woke up like, damn, like it was 7:30 in the morning. It was quick. It wasn't like we slept all night. Sent her an Uber home immediately when she got up, and you know, I'm on the way to Age of Attraction, FaceTiming Natalie. And
bro, no one. My anxiety
into the Age of Attraction
would going through the roof.
Yeah, tough. But I was extremely detailed, and I didn't even get to the part of like her like spending the night, and Natalie was already like livid, which makes sense. You know what I mean? So now I go into the Age of Attraction reunion, finish that, have a proper FaceTime with her after, and then obviously when I got back to Miami, we spoke face to face. And
did you still even tour in person?
We did, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, we
okay.
did. You know, and that's when we decided face to face. We decided, and to be honest, the conversation was long, and at first it was really sad, but I think it got to a point where it was like she realized how, you know, this situation was not handled correctly, and I think it ended as good as it could have ended. I think that if we both wanted to keep working things out at that point, we could have, but I also think that like there was too much hurt and problems at that point, so we took a step back, and that's basically where we cut ties, you know, with our relationship there, which What
was her initial reaction when you called her like, hey babe, just real quick, go on to this thing, but side note, so Kayla,
like, just the fact that like I entertained the conversation with Kayla was a problem, you know what I mean? Which is tough for my side, because like on her side she's saying, you know, why did you even have to talk with her? And in my head I'm like, I don't know how to answer that, you know what I mean? It's
Look,
like,
I think in a normal relationship, big no-no, but you have a show coming out where you have to relive those emotions and go through that stuff. Like regardless, there's always gonna be. I know. It's always gonna be.
And
tough
then watching
and
it back together after seeing, or like watching it back, seeing yourself together, seeing yourself with someone else, like it's so weird.
Bro,
it's so not normal.
So you're no longer with Natalie or Kayla.
Yeah. So obviously at that point, this is in March. You know, 2 months go by. We watch the show together, me and Kayla. I'm not dating either of them. I'm on very good terms with Kayla now, which is great.
Yeah.
We're friends. I love her. I support her and want the best for her. She knows that.
Yeah.
And watching the show back together is powerful. I mean, for real, you watch, it's like you see something that was real. You know what I mean? There's no question that like feelings are not mixed into that, you know?
Yeah.
But we had a real conversation with each other, like super real, you know, like, hey, I love you, want the best for you, I'm here for you always, but like it's just also not fair to like each other, to the people around us, to say like, we're going to try again right now. You know what I mean? If this happens at some point in the future, then maybe. But even to say like, we'll try again later is not. Right now, let's just support each other the way we need to and like and go from there. I think
you
that's
would try again at some point?
I wouldn't say no.
He's in love with Kayla, guys. What about Natalie?
Dude, Natalie is literally one of the sweetest people that I've ever met. And like I...
Try again with her too? Nah, you would.
This guy, dude.
You would. This guy's a slut. No, you're good. Brother, it's
I'm sweating here, bro.
No,
you're doing it.
You're doing really good. You're doing really good. Okay, so you would date her again? Natalie, if you had a chance or no?
I'm not going to say no to anybody right now. You know what I mean? We can have a chat.
What about the girl from Age of Attraction? What about your ex from high school?
What about, yeah.
Why did you bring a Louis Vuitton? Was it a purse or was it?
The wallet.
Why'd you do that?
All right. You know what? With the Louis Vuitton wallet, let's get this one out.
Yeah, let's figure this the fuck out, brother. Because I was like, did this guy go on Alibaba first? Because I would have done that.
Yeah.
I would have brought 10 from Alibaba, fake as fuck, or like from the local market in Mexico, and then pull up on the show and be like, guys, LV for everyone.
And then everybody's wallet tears the next week.
Yeah, they're like, this doesn't say Louis Vuitton, it's Louis Vuitton. Yeah. You know?
No. So honestly, the gift giving is something funny. On Age of Attraction, the gift giving was a thing. It wasn't shown on TV. It was all off camera. I mean, I brought a bunch of things with me. And like,
brother, you're blowing your paycheck.
I mean, that's just the reality. Like, honestly, I have friends, even like some of the boys and stuff, like on the show, you know? And then on Perfect Match, you know, I brought things for maybe some of the cast members, people working on the show, more people like you know, a lot of these wranglers that are working so hard, that are doing things, whether it's like a, you know, like a gift card or something small. Like I just brought a lot of things like that, you know. And then the first night, obviously, me and Mackenzie were very like friendly quick. Honestly, going into Perfect Match was tough for me. I was a little uncomfortable with like coming off Age of Attraction, like I'm going to sleep with someone on the first day, you know? So getting with Mackenzie and it being like comfortable, easy, friendly was a relief, you know? So we moved into the room quick, showered, unpacked, made it seem like I got in there and like, here's a gift. No, like, we took our time. It was hours in between this. We talked about her family. She talked about her dad is into racing. I actually brought these Formula One hats that the team gave me. I work with AMG, and I have like now a couple left, but I had like maybe 3 with me. And she said her dad likes racing, so I gave her the Formula One hat. Hey, take it back for your dad. She put that in her bag. I look around. I'm looking at my suitcase, and I see the wallet, and I'm just like, kind of thought about it in my head for a second. And that's why you see in the video, like, it was very casual. Like, I wasn't like, hey, I have something for you. Get down with me. It was kind of like, hey, do you want this? And she was like, no. And then I kind of just like threw it in the bag. I'm not even kidding. I didn't think about it again at all. I did not think that there was a camera in that corner at all. I'm not thinking this thing's through. We just came off a show. There was no such thing as a camera in these corners, you know? Yeah. And we didn't watch the show before the File episodes. And he asked me, so what's with the Louis Vuitton wallet? Right away. And that's when I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, it's in.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's when I was like, oh, shit.
Well, you know, people in these shows are usually broke, right? So, like, that's probably pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. I mean, look, in the end of the day, like Mackenzie's side, I understand, like a little quick for a wallet, but I mean, still could have left with the wallet.
What the fuck? Yeah, you could have left with the wallet. Happy days, everything's good.
Yeah, it wasn't that. I ended up keeping it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I would have had that as like a get out of jail free card later on if you kissed it.
It's mine now.
Okay.
Next day, put my cards in it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Wait. So is that's something you always do? Like, is it your love language? You think?
Yeah, I mean, I never really understood the whole love language terms because all of them are great. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like, for sure, gift giving is a huge one for me. Always been, man. I mean, it's how I'm raised. I'm telling you, I spoke about it before. Like, my mom would go to Lebanon with 2 suitcases of gifts and be giving things to people that, like, literally we've never met. You know, just people on the road, people in the town. In the end of the day, she was my first match on Perfect Match. Regardless whether Mackenzie.
I was like, brother. I missed that episode.
My mom is like, your mom?
A twisted version of Age of Attraction. It's like Age of Incest.
Gosh. No, Mackenzie was the first match of mine on the show, and I was like, regardless how far this goes, at least it's something she can take back. You know, like, I don't know. Again.
Well, it's a generous thing. Yeah. I think like it's
kind of weird, but whatever.
No, I like it's nice. Like it's also a nice way to live because I get it too. Like I got one of my friends, and I think he spent like $1 million on this girl in like 6 months he's been dating her, which is obviously like extreme. Sure. But I started like kind of trying to be like him a little bit. And I was like, it's so nice. Like, it's kind of self-fulfilling because it makes you feel good that, like, oh, you see your person.
I know. It's almost weird for me to receive gifts, too. I'm kind of like I like it, but I'm just, like, awkward with it. I like to give people things.
This is a good one for you, and you should try it. A high-low gift. So, like, an expensive one because you want to get that out. But then a low gift that doesn't cost any money but is really thoughtful.
More sentimental, like, thoughts. Yeah.
I've started trying to do that, and cool. I think, like, that's a good way. That's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Because then when I tell people, it's like, oh, look at this thing that I got, but also... I
think that's pretty cool because it's like, for me, gift giving is easy, but like trying to find time sometimes. Time is harder than giving a gift sometimes. You know what I mean? So that's fair. Like, that makes sense.
We can buy time. Yeah. No. Okay, can you tell me about how did the Spotify loophole thing come about? Because in the finale, they were getting quite sassy about that.
Yeah.
And you guys lost your iPads because of you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So you cost everyone music. And I know how it is in those rooms.
I know.
You need something
music, dude.
to keep it's like not going insane. So tell me what happened, and then also when did they take the iPads and stuff?
So obviously we get voted out, and Allison, I think, taught Kayla how to do the Spotify messaging, and then pretty quickly, like, Kayla taught me how to do the Spotify messaging. We're sequestered. We just went through one of the most emotional things ever. To be honest with you, the Spotify messaging was like such a relief. And you know, after a few days, she got back in the house, and like that was over anyway. To be honest, dude, like, come on. I think Mackenzie heard. I saw her talking about it on the live. I think she heard somebody. As what she said, that she heard somebody talking about it and like kind of kept it in the bank, and then like I guess said it to producers later or something.
So she
didn't have to talk about it. Not that deep, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, I'm gonna message all my exes on Spotify.
Just saying.
It's a good way to get in there.
I think, and then obviously it got taken away like the last like 3 or 4 days. They gave us I don't know, some other music platform.
What did they say when they took it? They didn't.
Nothing.
They didn't
I got back from the gym, like I get back from the gym. I'm like, all right, where's it?
It's gone.
It's gone. It's like, fuck.
Because bro, I'm like, when you're sitting in that room, you're going like your
I
brain's
know.
going crazy. Like, is she on a date? Where is she? Like, what's
I know.
happening? And at
I
least
know.
she had a get out of jail free card.
I know.
When I was there, I was fucked.
Dude, and like that's the thing. Like obviously at the finale, that's when everyone was like, "That's why we lost our music." Like no one cared that we were messaging. Look, I wouldn't make a joke about it either if production was upset about it. You know, their reaction to it was, "Don't hate the game. I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like
smart.
simple as that.
Yeah.
It happened. Whatever. Obviously, production finds out about it. They have to cut the Spotify. They also didn't need to find out about it.
Yeah, they
let's be
didn't need to
honest.
find out. Who do we hate the most on the show? Because I watched that finale and I think I hate Allie. I don't like her.
Really? Why?
Okay, I just felt bad for Jimbo, right?
Okay.
When she was like, we kissed.
Yeah.
I've been there, I've been like, but when she's like, oh, I gave the other guy
It
head.
was only 10 seconds.
Only 10 seconds. And I'm sitting there, I was like, it doesn't matter how long you sucked him off for. You still put his dick
And
in
then
your
the video, the 10 seconds later, bro. Oh my
Yeah. So that kind of got me so angry because, to be honest, he's sitting there, he's like, all good. And I'm like, brother, that's actually
No,
not all good. She
no.
just lied to your face about topping our boy off
I
over
know.
here.
Mm.
And also the other guy was trying to be too respectful. I'm like, brother, you should have just let it fly.
You think so? See, I've seen a lot of controversy about that. Like, Hashim was in the wrong, bringing it up. It was disrespectful to Allie. But then it's like, obviously.
He would have never found out. Jimmy would have never found out.
I know.
Like, there's no way. And then she was in the wrong for lying. Like, point blank, period. She should have just said, like, it's not wrong that they did it. But she should have, again, I don't know,
Yeah.
as a viewer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I think for sure that there was no question she should have communicated that with Jimmy. You know what I mean? I do think that, like, from the other perspective, trying to not be on anyone's side, there was a lot of unsure from her side. She was very unsure about Jimmy. Is he really with me? Is he flipping back and forth? He was so big on being open the entire time. Which is
crazy.
The whole I'm open. They're
Crazy.
like glorifying for being open. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like we could also be closed for a moment. Like it's okay
Just
to
try
be closed for a day.
second.
literally. So I think
fuck.
not speaking to anybody, just my thought about it too. Like part of her matching with Hashim was kind of a little bit of like one of these to Jimmy. I think, just like, I don't know. But yeah, no question. Like the way to handle that is talk about it quick.
Yeah.
Talk about it quick.
Was it quick or was she just, because I think that was just like a cop out. I'm like, oh, you just have to say, yeah, my bad. Sucked him off.
It's only 10 seconds. Like,
Yeah. Like that's,
it must have been really good then.
yeah, you must be, you're the best. Like that's crazy.
That's so bad.
Yeah, because I
Joke.
watched that and I was like, I got angry. But then I'm like, this is probably how people feel when they watch me.
Oh my god.
They get so angry. They're like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, straight up.
So dumb. Okay, wait. Age of Attraction, Perfect Match. Very different vibes. Which one was harder for you to navigate?
Harder to navigate, I guess. Age of Attraction. believe it or
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Because we did not expect to be moving in together at the end. That was something that was super new. You know what I mean? I think that would have changed a lot if people knew that going into the season. You know what I mean? I think it was easy to navigate the first part. I think that's why, like, watching it back, you don't see so much of the beginning because there wasn't problems, I guess you could say, in the beginning. Once you move in together, that's like you go from seeing each other an hour a day, maybe, you know what I mean, to we're waking up together. The camera's in my face when I wake up. I'm tired as hell. I can't even brush my teeth without like being, that was tough. I never lived with anyone before Age of Attraction either. So that made it harder as well. I mean, Perfect Match was tough, but I think what made Perfect Match easier was that you had cameras running all the time versus like we're having a conversation and then a camera comes in and kind of changes that look for you. Whereas, not that it changes the conversation, but it changes the essence of it, right? Versus we're being filmed all the time. So we're not thinking about it on Perfect Match. I think that made it a little bit easier to navigate. Made it a little more fun, I guess you could say in that sense. But yeah, I mean, complete opposite shows. Polar opposites.
Would you do? Which one would you do again if you would? Or would you skip it fully?
Yeah, probably skip them.
Really?
No, I mean, look. No. I had a great. Looking back, it was such a blessing to do both of them. I think that if I did Perfect Match again, I'd have, I'd be able to not necessarily do things differently, but come back with a right perspective and maybe do things a little different. Age of Attraction, I don't think I could have done so much differently. I don't think a lot of the conversations were shown, obviously, that people saw. And me and Leah had a really cool relationship that now, she's one of my close friends, one of my best friends from the show, which is awesome to see that. So that's cool. But Perfect Match, I don't think I'm cool. The 15-year age gap is a little too much for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, how long apart was filming for both those?
It was quick. I mean, it was like a couple months. Like, but it was quick because I didn't get home right after Age of Attraction, so I only had like 2 weeks at home to get ready for Perfect Match. So it's quick.
Fuck,
yeah,
bro.
it was quick.
You gotta have some good savings.
It was
to
fast,
do
man. It was
like,
fast.
like they're getting new outfits, have your rent, everything
Bro,
sorted.
I know.
be on
But
the road again.
it was crazy how like a year and a half of my life passed before I was like in a normal situation. Like someone asked me, "Are you single?" Like I haven't been able to answer that in a year and a half.
It's weird, huh?
It is kind of crazy. It is.
Yeah.
But seriously, such a blessing. And like even the relationships we build after show, the friendships, you can't put a price on that. And
well, you can. I would drop everyone.
think so?
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You sure?
Yeah. Definitely put a price on that. Exactly. Fuck him. Okay, actually, before we move on to Age of Attraction.
Nice watch, by the way.
Thank you so
Sick
much.
watch.
For a Perfect Match, because when I was watching it, I was like, I feel like these people don't really care enough.
Yeah.
If you could go back and change it to make it more high stakes, what do you think you would add? Is there anything that you would change? Because obviously I'm watching Love Island right now, and there's so many hot people just constantly going through. Like, it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
What would you change?
Would I change from Perfect Match to make it more high stakes? Okay, maybe making a prize, some type of cash prize besides the trip. I think that'd be cool. I mean, just having the winners be more of like a, hey, you won this. The trip's cool, but what if you're not together 2 months after the show?
Cares?
It kind of makes it hard.
Yeah.
Maybe more challenges would be cool. Just more challenges, more stakes after the challenges. But let's be honest, I think they did a really good job this season because so up till now, you could pair up with someone, you can be really strong with them, and then that's it. You're going to the end. Now, I mean, I'll still hold to it. I think me and Kayla were the strongest couple in the house when we got voted out, and we still got voted out, you know? So
it's kind of crazy.
So that changes everything. It almost becomes like a game show now versus just a dating show. You can't be content with just like, oh, I'm solid with my match, no one else matters. You know what I mean? It's not the same anymore. So obviously going into season 5 and stuff like that, that's going to change people's perspectives. I don't know. What else? What do you think? What would you change?
Well, I think the thing with us that was so difficult is no one was changing their matches. Like no one was switching out. Like there was no need to. It's like, oh, if I just stay in this, then I'm staying in the house and we're chilling.
Yeah.
That's why like when I got in trouble in our show was because like they're like, we don't have a show. Like no one's doing anything. Yeah. It's like so boring. So like we have to do something crazy. So I don't know. I think cash prize would make more sense. Yeah. Like 100, 250.
How did they switch it up? Like how did they mix things up with you? Just bringing bombshells in and out?
We were all pretty drunk, and they just were like, "Hey, look, like we don't have a show. Someone has to do something."
Okay.
So if you watch it back, like we're at this like water thing, and we're all yelling at one guy to like save the show. It's like 5 seconds of a clip of us just yelling at him because he's about to kiss Christina. We're like, save the show. You have to save the show. We kept all screaming that the whole day, and no one was doing anything. Wow. So then Captain Dickhead was like, let's figure this out. And I was drunk, and I'm like, I don't know.
Captain Dickhead?
Yeah. Anyway, that was a long time ago. But yeah, I just think I would make it more high stakes. Yeah. Make it more attractive to switch couples.
Right.
You know? And then also if someone goes, like, they got to go.
Right.
Like have some people feel like they've been killed off, you know?
Exactly.
I think with Love Island, watching it, when this Sean guy left, it was the first one to go. I'm like, he's just going home. Like, everything's all good. But you see everyone crying because they're like, holy shit, like this, I'm never going to see this person again.
Right.
Perfect Match. It's like, they're just going to go to the hotel.
Right.
We'll see him later.
Right.
So I think like that would be the thing.
That's
like,
true.
Make it feel bigger and more drama.
Yeah, that's true. And it makes, bigger stakes. That's huge.
Yeah. Are you watching Love Island?
I watched, up till now. Kind of.
Dude, it's I've never watched this season, and I've never admitted
it's hard to watch. Tell me it's not hard to watch after doing these shows. It's hard for me to
difficult.
watch.
But bro, the funniest thing was the first episode. This is so embarrassing. First episode, I'm watching it. I'm standing in my kitchen like this, like a proud dad. Like, holy shit, their lives are about to change.
Yeah.
I was so proud.
I know.
I was sitting there like so happy watching it in real time. Like watching them do their little dance, and then I'm like.
The intro dance. Yeah. And everybody's making fun of the intro dance. And I'm like, I had to comment on one of the Instagrams. I was like, can you guys give us a break? You know how awkward those intro
so
dances?
Awkward,
it's like the most awkward thing ever.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Actually, one of my boys is a bombshell. Caleb. He's coming in next.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who is cool. He?
Well, he lives in Charleston, but he moves. I've seen him in Miami.
Is he a big light-skinned guy as well?
He's young. 21 years old. He's coming in. I'm excited for him. Yeah.
Oh, is
super
that the
cool guy.
Southern guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, has like a cross tattoo. Something like,
Do you think he's going to do well?
He's a sweet dude. He's very like, I'm curious to see how it goes for him out there. It's hard.
Especially, bro, that cast, they're so hot.
Especially as a bombshell.
The bombshell is the scariest part.
I know.
To come in and everyone's already got shit set up, because I'm sure they all flew them out at the same time, right?
Right,
Took their phones
right.
at the same time, so you don't know when you're going
Probably.
in.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
the hardest
on
thing.
Perfect Match, we didn't necessarily fly in at the same time, so maybe not.
Oh, did they not?
Maybe not. Yeah, I flew in like a week earlier than everybody. I was there really
Why?
early. I think because like the airports are small, so you
Yeah.
can't have people run into each other. There's not that many flights coming in, so like I came in on one day, someone came in later that day, next day someone came in.
Damn.
Yeah. So did you come in as a bombshell on yours?
No, I was original.
You were a starter, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I mean, obviously preference, I think, but for
Yeah.
Love Island it's different because it seems like they give the bombshells more of a chance. Which
Yeah.
they did a good job with that on Perfect Match, at least trying to give the bombshells more of a chance.
Yeah.
But it's hard too, man.
Dude.
Trying to break up a couple.
Want to quickly touch on the mental health stuff,
Yeah.
and then we've got a fun game.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You're a certified
Yeah.
mental health aide, and you speak in schools.
Yeah. So that's something that, again, if I didn't have the hardship that happened, especially the
Yeah.
financial trouble and the family issues that we had
Yeah.
years ago, probably wouldn't have had that platform. Started really early and I worked with reality TV stars. And at that time, it wasn't really cool to talk about mental health. It was more
Yeah.
about like breaking a stigma. 2016. And we traveled, and in a way, it was a glorified meet and greet, but it was creating a platform. You know, it took a couple years, and then I started speaking to schools, and then I got certified. So my certification allows me to work with first responders and teachers,
Whoa.
which is something I'm super passionate about, and I love that. But a lot of people don't know that it's super personal. You know, I call her my aunt. She was my mom's best friend. You know, and we lost her to her battle with mental health a couple of years ago.
Wow.
You know, yeah, I mean, goosebumps all the time thinking about it. And now I'm able to talk about it for sure with a straight face. But, you know, my brothers and sisters lost their mom in a way that like they'll never forget. You know, and this was one of the most loving, powerful families that you'd ever met. So it shows that like no matter how strong you are, no matter how much you have, like mental health can beat you if you're not stable in ways that you need to. You know, so once that happened, again, that was like now 3 years, that really changed everything because it became it was already personal. It became more personal, and it became like a duty almost. Like I got to do something now. Like if I don't do something positive with this, then like that was wasted, and I can't let that be a thing.
Wow.
You know? So yeah, so it's a lot, but.
Well, fun fact, that's the reason why I went on reality TV. I've had 3 people lose their battle with mental health.
Really?
Yeah, my best friend on the first show, Tavita, he lost his battle. But the first, when I was at university, my brother's like best friend, this guy Hamish, he decided it was his time to go. And then I was like, oh, fuck, how do I get on? Like, how do I make my friends laugh? And that was the reason why I went on the first show.
Wow.
So it's,
I didn't know that.
look at us.
Wow.
You know, and
That's
now
awesome.
I think I give people more problems than I'm helping, you know,
No,
trying to make
give
people
yourself some
laugh.
credit, bro.
And then
Here
I'm
we
like,
are,
fuck.
dude. No, but
Yeah,
wow,
it's a crazy industry too, because like it's when Tavita went, I was fully like taken back because I'm like, it's the happiest guy on the planet.
yeah.
But I think it's these highs and lows of like you fully experience it firsthand. It's like you go on the show where everything's taken care of. Your brain is like so up, and then you come back to normal life,
It's hard, right?
and no one cares,
Just getting
and then you're
back to
back up
normal life,
again.
it's weird.
It's weird, bro.
I know.
Do you think it's helped being on reality TV, or helped you understand yourself better?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that for sure. I mean, also like how I communicate with people in different settings is so different. I mean, you can't replicate a reality TV scenario. Coming back after was also testing. I hadn't had something like that ever. Like, I mean, it'd take a month. Credit to Netflix, they've done a great job keeping up with everybody after, making sure we have the good resources and come off and have those resources, which is amazing. But still, it's like you forget how to talk like a normal person. It's only been a month, but tell me that month doesn't feel like a year, right? Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that was, I think it was harder coming off of Age of Attraction, the Perfect Match, just because it was long. It was longer as well, but it's always hard to get back into a normal routine. Routine in general is so important, right? Like just traveling for a month is hard, let alone doing a show like that. So that's why, again, I lead with my platform, and I want to continue growing that. I think right now we have a really cool chance to do that. You know?
Yeah.
So
What's the end goal? What's the big vision with it all?
really now, if I can, I give courses, but usually my courses are very small.
Knew you were selling courses,
No, it's not even.
No,
I
I'm
don't even.
joking.
To be honest, I never even made money with mental health. But it's more of like a first aider.
Yeah.
What the course is like, imagine getting like a CPR first aid. It's like getting mental health first aid. If someone's having a panic attack in front of you, like how do you deal with that? You know?
That's
that's
powerful.
really what it is.
Yeah.
But I love speaking to schools, man. I love working with students. I feel like they listen to you differently. They respond differently. Like I have students that were middle schoolers, 6th grade, that I worked with, that 10 years later, like they'll like DM me like, hey, listen, that's the most powerful thing ever.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's really cool. But yeah, end goal, I guess I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know where it'll go, but I want to combine the platform I have with the education and somehow do something.
It's infinite. You can help so many people.
Yeah, and work with people like you that have a serious story, that have that want to give back to, and that have a voice. So
dude, it's powerful.
Really cool.
I think Australia and New Zealand has the highest suicide rate per capita.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, where in Australia are you from?
Central Queensland. This place called Yukon.
Okay.
You got no idea.
Yeah.
No one knows. I saw you pretending. I saw her pretending. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, brother. No one's been there. Not even me. And I was born there.
Couldn't even tell you what side.
Yeah, literally, it's an armpit of a town. It's called Yeppoon, middle of nowhere. But we have. If you look it up, I don't know if it's still the stats, but Australia and New Zealand fully cooked. Like young men, no good.
Why do you think that is?
I think Australia's been real proactive about the culture around it. We have this thing called Are You OK Day, where I think it's later in the year, where everyone texts each other like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful charity. But when I went back and did Amazing Race Australia, I did it in honor of my friend, his mum, who lost her battle.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, our family wants to do it for this charity. So there is I think they're trying, they're proactive because they realize it's a massive problem. But I just think it's that, I don't know, like that, I guess blue collar mentality. It's just just have a spoonful of concrete and harden up. It's kind of how it is.
Yeah,
but
until it doesn't work anymore.
Until it doesn't work, and then I'm the opposite. I'm crying on every show that I've ever done and being a big old bitch.
They cut out some of my crying scenes.
Oh, they did? You cried too? Yeah. Thank God. I knew you were
dude,
crying.
They got me on Age of Attraction bawling, dude. They didn't show me bawling. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't show that.
They should have put that in. It's always good for the trailer when they see your face.
I know.
I
know.
I want to do a game that we've never done before.
All right, hell yeah.
It's going to be called Love Bomber or Lover Boy.
Oh, wow.
So you have to you have to tell me, in your opinion, not society's, if this is love bombing or this is just being a lover boy.
All right, let's hear it.
Because it's a fine fucking line with this guy.
Give me a Louis Vuitton watch. Is that the first one or no?
Give me his Rolex. He rolled for me. Exactly. Okay, bomber boy. Buying flowers on the first date.
That's lover boy. Come on.
I like that.
Come on.
Flying across the country to see someone you're not dating, but you're talking to.
Lover boy.
It's a lover boy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. You're talking to him.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking.
It's like it's also I'm reading it like it's a.
What are you gonna FaceTime forever? You gotta see each other.
You gotta pull up.
Yeah.
Sending a good morning text after the first date.
Just good morning. How we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, lover boy. What's wrong with that?
Saying I've never felt this way before one weekend.
That could be love bombing.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I've also done it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, maybe love bombing shit.
Double texting when they haven't replied in a few hours.
That's lover boy. Some people are bad at communicating a little bit.
Yeah. I get it. Buying designer gifts a month in?
Definitely not love bombing. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's normal.
Just love normal.
Yeah.
That's super normal.
It's just lover boy behavior.
Yeah.
Bringing up exclusivity on the second date.
Yeah, I love bombing at that point, right? That's too quick for exclusive.
Wow. You're on a date.
That's true.
We got to lay the law.
That is true. Listen.
What the fuck we doing?
Listen, I'm not a love bomber.
What are we? It's day two. High-end restaurants on the first date.
I think that's fine. I think that's lover boy. I like taking myself to a high-end restaurant, so why not?
So what are we going to do? Subway?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is also great.
Fine.
I'll go there. Booking a holiday with no special occasion.
Well, are we dating? No.
Not us.
You don't know the girl.
Brother, you got to figure out the Kayla and Natalie shit first. Nah. What do you think? Yeah.
Where do you want to go, bro?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Let's go Maldives. Is that where they went?
Yeah, no.
Bora Bora?
Yeah, I think so. No, I mean,
I think that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Lover boy.
Why not?
Saying I love you a month in.
It's probably love bombing, but like a month in, you spend a month together dating.
That's what I'm saying.
It's tough too. I mean, if you're dating someone for a month,
you love them.
I mean,
Okay, it also depends because a month could be like, oh, we see them every weekend because we have work. Mm-hmm. So it's 4 times. Like then,
right?
Some people's month is different.
I know.
We're unemployed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we don't have jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy trades stocks. I take selfies. So like, all we do all day long is hang out with people.
I know.
So
a month is. So what about 3 months?
We should be married.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's disrespectful that there's no kids.
You see, I don't know why I didn't interview with this guy earlier.
Yeah, like,
that's what I needed.
It's kind of fucking crazy. Okay, also, here's my theory on love bombing, is that as long as it doesn't end, it's not love bombing, it's just love, right? So
use that one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You just be like, girl, I'm going to be so consistent.
That's right. Because
if you're not consistent, then if it ever drops off, it's love bombing.
True, yeah.
If it's ever consistent, you're just a lover boy.
Right.
So that you just have to
That's a
remember
good
to
point.
keep the standard up
Just keep giving the gifts.
the whole time.
Just keep going.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Let's trade some options. All right, well, final 4 questions, and then we can get the fuck out of here.
Hell yeah.
If you were casting the villain version of your show, which of your former castmates on any of the shows that you've done would be the first person you call?
The first person I
First
call
person you're like, this is a villain.
on either show.
Any show.
It's got to be Jorge. It's
Who's
got to be
who's
Jorge.
Was this on
our
Age?
guy from Age of Attraction,
Okay,
Papa
fuck.
Jorge.
Who's bad?
he's our villain for sure.
Oh, fuck.
Definitely.
Who are your 4 people on Mount Rushmore of reality TV villains?
All reality TV.
Yeah.
Any reality TV. Can I say Harry Jowsey?
Let's go. I'll take it.
Let me let's see. We have you got some crazy villains. You look like Survivor, right? Like stuff like that. Do you remember a name called Russell Hantz? Do you remember that name?
Who's
You know
Russell
who that
Hantz?
is? That's a Mount Rushmore of reality TV
Really?
villains right there.
Russell
Hell yeah.
Hantz? Is that a real name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't forget that one. I'm trying to think. Temptation Island. There's got to be a villain from that one, but I can't really, right?
Bro,
There has to be.
all those singles are villains.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all bad people.
I-
My boy did that. He kind of looks like you. He pissed on the girl that he was with on that show.
Which one?
It was on this. It was so unfortunate. The season right before it went on Netflix.
Before Netflix.
Yeah, and
I'm
he
trying
was
to think of another villain that we can
Yeah.
think of. Is Chase a villain? What was Chase like?
Chase
on the
is a
show?
villain for sure.
I saw a lot of villain reels, but I didn't really see his show. So
Yeah, I
can't
could say for
What's,
sure. He's not a nice guy.
no, he seemed nice in person.
Yeah.
He's punching people now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's say one more. Let's try to get a female in there. You know what? I don't want to make anyone upset.
Yeah, you know
Let's
what?
just wait on that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Guys, comment down below who the female
Yeah.
villain
Comment
would be.
down. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what is the most fake thing about reality TV that viewers think is actually real?
I think just the fact that you are getting such an edited version of the conversation, like why didn't this conversation happen? I hate that question. Like why didn't you guys talk about this? Like I can't tell you, but like we did talk about it.
Yeah.
We did. You just didn't see the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That part got cut out. You know, so the last thing you want to do is go back and be like, oh, the editing didn't show this or the editing didn't show that. And that's not what I'm gonna do. Netflix has given me an amazing platform, but little things like that. Like why didn't you talk to Mackenzie before matching with Kayla, right? Like for example, things like that you wish you could kind of be open about and just tell people it's not how it happened, but
Yeah.
it's okay. You can't convince everybody.
It's also, bro, like every episode's like 3 days.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like
I
they're
know.
going to cram the craziest shit in
I know.
there.
8 episodes for a month and a half of filming, basically, right?
Yeah.
So that's
It's tough.
Yeah, it's weird.
What is the most unhinged thing you've seen a castmate do to ensure they get more screen time?
Bring up getting your dick sucked at our finale.
Well, it's like
Fair.
If
I
you
mean,
had
I'm
that
not
up
saying-
his sleeve.
Yeah, fair. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, I would have
but-
delivered it different, but
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
I know.
Also, Jimmy to just sit there and be like, okay.
I know. Jimmy's like, I mean, she told me I'll kiss. I was like, no.
No, Jimmy.
I was like, no.
No, Jimmy. Bro, I met him one time at the Netflix event, and I was with my boy Dom, and I was so drunk. I was so fucked up. Every time I see him, I just like, keep your head up, champ.
With after you saw him.
No,
after?
no, this was like a year ago.
Oh, after. Okay.
No, I
Okay.
think it was I forget what it was. It was a big event that they're putting on at the Kia Forum. And I remember seeing him and I was like, oh shit, Jimmy. And he it was a pre-glow up. So it's still
Pre-hair transplant.
Yeah, he still looked like
Okay,
Jimmy.
Okay.
And I just I was fucked up beyond belief. And I was like, bro, keep your head up. And then Dom's like, why would you say that to him? I was like, I actually don't
You don't
know.
even know.
I had no idea. And Jimmy was like, yeah, why would you say that? And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I'm so
Yeah.
drunk. So anyway, there's my story, Jimmy.
That
Anything
is
you
so
want to plug?
funny.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No, man. Honestly, just the fact that, you've given me a platform, giving people a platform, I think that super encouraging that you can laugh about you like having hate and all that and still do a lot of positive with this platform. I think that's really cool.
Let's laugh.
And I mean, what is it? We turn our pain into passion, our passion into purpose. I definitely see you doing that. So
Damn, I
keep
appreciate
doing
it,
that.
bro.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on, guys. If you did enjoy today's episode, please give us 5 stars. Drop a comment down below. And we will see you again next week.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
Sick.